Sure, seashells, those are a great treasure from the sea. But we have been working on finding something that maybe is even harder to find. Hi, I'm Nika Waters, and welcome to the Boat Galley Podcast. Today I'm talking about the ultimate treasure from the sea, at least as far as we think about it, and that is a glass float. Today's episode of the Boat Galley Podcast is sponsored by FastSeas.com. Plan your next passage using FastSeas. Whether you are after speed or comfort, FastSeas will find the optimum route to your destination. FastSeas, making weather routing simple. Use coupon code GALLEY, that's G-A-L-L-E-Y, for an exclusive 10% discount. On to the ultimate sea treasure. Fishermen around the world use floats of some kind to keep their nets suspended in the ocean. Originally, these floats were made out of naturally buoyant material, like wood or cork. But current floats are either cylindrical, relying on entrapped air, or they're styrofoam. We've seen metal ones in the Bahamas, plastic ones in many places. Here in French Polynesia, the preferred pearl floats, which are embossed with a net-like pattern on them, are either hard plastic or sometimes ceramic, although there are actually a distressing number of styrofoam floats around as well. They're bright yellow. They don't do as much to hold the nets up. The ultimate treasures to our eyes, though, in terms of these floats, are the glass ones. Yes, glass. Not made anymore. Glass floats were first made in Norway in 1840 and became pretty commonplace by the mid-1900s. And the last glass floats actually used for fishing that were made in Japan were made in the late 1970s. And, as you might imagine, they're increasingly rare. As fishing nets get lost at sea or storms wash them onto reefs, the floats find their way to beaches and into the lucky hands of fortunate beachcombers. We've been on the hunt for glass fishing floats since we cruised with the kids in the Bahamas in 2009 to 2010. Friends we were cruising with introduced us to this obsession, which they'd hooked onto when other cruising friends of theirs stumbled on a perfect sphere in a very out-of-the-way island just 5 minutes after our friends had casually wandered by, eyes looking for shells. Your eyes definitely find different things when you're looking for them. But when Johnny mentioned his desire to find a glass float and the near miss in a local spot, we all started looking. Jeremy found something that initially looked like one, but it was opaque plastic, good for a heart-stopping, oh my God moment, and still gives us a laugh when we see it, because of course we kept it. Once we arrived in French Polynesia, glass floats became the main focus of any beach walk. We figured we're in the Pacific. Maybe we're a little more likely to find them here than on the Atlantic. A couple of towns where people decorate their homes with beach treasures like pearl floats or shells, we saw glass floats hung. This meant to us that yes, the floats had washed up on this atoll at some point. And the more glass floats in town, the higher likelihood of success. Something about ocean currents and prevailing wind and probably lack of casual foot traffic also. We saw glass floats hanging in Amanu, in Raroya. We found fragments, tantalizingly close fragments, in the high tide line at Makemo and Katiu. When we got to Takaroa, which is the farthest north inhabited atoll of the Tuamotus, we noted glass floats all over in town. Glass floats, all large, topped walls. They hung from the ceiling in former restaurant spaces. Jeremy's walks on the windward side, where he poked his way into abandoned copra shacks, revealed some of these shacks with dozens of those spheres, sadly smashed when the roof collapsed. Our friends Robert and Maina have at least 14 on their property. Takaroa felt like it would be our best shot at finding one. And one morning, Jeremy took himself down the coast for his walk. He stopped to say good morning to the Palmers, who told them that it had been a while since they had found a new float, and they were doubtful that he would have any luck. An hour later, Jeremy came back out to the boat. "Any finds?" I asked as I poked my head up from down below where I'd been working on a blog post. My eye immediately landed on the huge glass sphere, and then his huge grin, and all we could do was laugh. He had found a glass float. I can't wait to share an anchorage with you where we'll talk about our favorite sea treasures and just toast to our incredible good fortune at being able to live this amazing lifestyle. Thank you so much for listening to the Boat Galley podcast. We love it when we hear from our listeners. We love it when you share us with your friends. We love it when you let us know that we've helped you make boat life just a little bit better, because that, after all, is what the Boat Galley is all about. Have the most spectacular week.